What up, everyone? I'm the Comic Outlaw. This is Magnus, and we covered some Dragon Ball Z a little while back, and we're going to be doing a second show. We're going to be talking about three characters and the contrast between them.
Yeah. I feel that characters that did get a lot of development, Piccolo and Vegeta, and then also talking about Goku, who's kind of the benchmark of not really changing that much as a character.
No character growth at all.
So, I guess starting off with character motivation, I'll start off with Piccolo, that his is kind of sad because with King Piccolo, his father, spit him out as an egg. And the special thing about the Namekians that they reproduce asexually and create clones of themselves, but they can pass on their memories. King Piccolo did his son dirty and chose to only pass on like his hatred and anger for Goku, but not really like more motivation, not really much
As
else
well
of
as
the
Kami,
past.
too, his hatred towards Kami.
Yes. And so like Piccolo started out knowing he hated Goku and wanted Goku dead and wanted to beat him, but like it wasn't his own motivation.
That's true.
And it wasn't it started out with him stealing Goku's son and trading him that he started becoming more of a father figure. He even jumped in front of Nappa's blast to save Gohan.
Yes. Well, even then, during that whole saga, when he was teaching him, he wasn't exactly... He was cruel to him in a way, but he was trying to get that spoiled child out of him, because at that point, Gohan was basically just a mama's boy.
Yeah.
And Piccolo had to prepare him for the fight that lied ahead.
Yeah, and he saw his power after cracking Raditz armor.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah. And then, eventually Piccolo fused with Nail and sort of got Nail's virtue, and then fused with Kami and sort of became whole again. And the interesting thing with Piccolo's sort of progression is the most natural, because people don't change overnight. They say it's like, oh, I'm going to do this differently. No, it happens slowly and gradually, and that happened with Piccolo.
Also, the fusion, too. I don't know, like the change, yes, I understand that, but it was also the fusion, too, that had a lot to do with that.
Yeah.
Like, if we're talking about character progression without the aid of that, what about Vegeta?
Yeah, so Vegeta, he had a very interesting upbringing, of course, being a prince of all Saiyans. Having the father effectively unified the planet of Vegeta, that they're all...
And his name was King Vegeta.
Yeah, and that, Frieza destroys almost all the Saiyans and destroys the planet Vegeta and murders the father Vegeta, and then effectively enslaves the son, but he was mostly fine with it. Like, he doesn't have much hangs up with the murder of the Saiyan race.
Well, later on, like during the Namek series, he starts crying about, when he was like all that pent up. Well, he didn't have much of a choice. He was either serve or die.
Yeah, and so
and Vegeta was a child too when the incident happened. If you watch Bardock, he was about 10.
Yeah, I believe it was exactly 10.
Yeah, so like it's not like he had a whole lot of choice in who was raising him or why.
Yeah, and and I guess the main ideology with Vegeta is he wants to be the best. Goku wants to be better. Not better than the best, just always better. And so while both ideologies go for the same goal, it's just a different mindset. And part of it is, of course, with Vegeta's pride, is that he wants to be the best.
Well, then Goku seems to stumble into these people that give him these amazing power-ups too.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, he doesn't like getting powerful for free. When Goku was young and he had to do a big fight, that was very important. I don't think it was with King Piccolo. It might have been with, Tambourine?
Maybe.
Yeah, it was a very important fight. And it's like, hey, you need to be better. We do not have time for you to train. And I think it was either Master Roshi's sister or was Korin, but they gave him
witch.
Yeah, they gave him mystic water that gave him a power boost. And and it was important, but Goku hated it. Like, he did not earn that power boost. It was not his power boost. And so that's, ever since then, like, if Goku had a chance to get his power unlocked by Guru to become mystic by the Elder Kai, he would reject it flat out.
Except for the fusion thing, they did do that.
Yeah, and well, that is, yeah, it's a merger of the powers. I guess it's kind of
Well,
fumbles with it and becoming a new entity.
I don't know, because I know like back in the day, this is like way back in like 2000,
Mm-hmm.
2001. I actually had the privilege of playing the Dragon Ball Z role playing game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Very fun game. I don't know if you ever played it or not.
yeah, like what the Xenoverses, and they have like Dragon Ball Heroes and all that
Yeah,
kind of
well, this
stuff.
no,
Yeah,
this was old. Like this went like to like the Cell Saga, and that was pretty much it.
yeah.
And this is way back. You know what I mean? And they had little things written about the characters.
Oh, you're talking about the tabletop game.
Yes,
Okay, yeah, okay, so yeah, they had tabletop.
back where they used dice.
I mean, they still use dice for stuff.
Yeah, but not like they used to.
That's true.
But and this game, it actually goes on to explain that when Goku was dead, that the first time he died and he was in Snake Way, he got like 200 years of training because his body never wore out and he was able to just kind of build on and build on and build on.
Yeah.
I always kind of felt like those like Goku always has those power spurts or someone to help him or
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Like even when Vegeta was gonna beat him, look, here comes Yajirobe to cut off the tail.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like I don't know about like Goku doing it himself because he sure in the hell seems to have a lot of people that
Well,
always throw up that ace form when he needs it the most.
yeah, well, I mean, first off, he has a lot of good masters, and they teach him different things. Like you know, Master Roshi pretty much taught Goku, be disciplined and work hard because remember he was a wild, savage monkey boy, and but taught him, it's just like here, you need to deliver all this milk, with this heavy turtle pack on you, and so taught him of hard work and earning what he has, while King Kai, taught him more spiritual aspects of things, and then with Whis, teaching him godly things. So yeah, I mean, unlike Piccolo and Vegeta, where they make their own techniques, while Goku has to be taught it, because Go. It's hard to say if he is too dumb to do it, but it's not his mentality. He's always taught this stuff. Like Piccolo, he just meditates all day, and he absolutely gets powerful just by doing that. Like he's one of the most powerful characters, and it kind of sucks because he's next to the two more powerful.
We were talking about
characters.
telepathy and telekinesis. I remember like during the Cell Saga, I do believe,
Mhm.
Piccolo was actually lifting one of the pyramids of Giza. He was meditating.
Yeah, and the interesting thing with telepathy
Well, not
and
Giza, but you know what I mean, like
yeah.
their version of whatever. it
and
would be.
telekinesis is that there's two forms. There's sort of like Chaozu, where it's just legit psychic energy, which is something that Dragon Ball series does not really touch on. They deal with magic, chi, and science, but not really psychic powers. But then there's telekinesis, sort of the way that Frieza does, which is such refined chi control that can use that energy to manipulate the surroundings. And with Piccolo, it could be either way. It could be a merger of the two. But yeah, he has the mental and key control to do it.
I don't know. Like I always thought that Piccolo should be stronger at the point that he's at,
Yeah.
and I think that's like a failing of the show at one point where they just spotlighted Goku, where
Yes.
there was so much other potential to be passed around. And like they did it a little bit with Vegeta, but Vegeta always played like second fiddle or something like that.
Yeah, and so one of the reasons that a lot of people say it was this way is from the editors. From pretty much Dragon Ball all the way right before the Buu saga, Akira Toriyama had editors that had a strong stranglehold on what he did. And it's like, no, you got to do things like this. And in Shonen Jump, they have voting polls to see who's most popular, and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, Japan loves Goku. Like, in America, it's like, oh, Vegeta's awesome, but in, Japan, it's Goku.
Well,
And it's just like, Goku had to be number one.
it's because Goku is based off of an older story. the Monkey King.
Yeah, Sun Wukong.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's kind of another reason why he's so popular, you know.
Yeah, the Journey to the West.
Yeah, so there's reasons why Goku is popular, and that he's a more reckless, you know. He comes off more like a dick,
Yeah.
you know, in the manga, and like if you read the subtitles, the English subtitles,
Yeah.
like I was telling you, I have the unedited version where like you can read the English subtitles, and the English subtitles are very different from what they're actually saying, you know.
Yeah, and it's not like it's
Sometimes.
worlds apart, but just by changing the context just by one or two words,
Not even
it
that.
can
Sometimes
really
the whole
change the
speeches are
characters.
like different, you know.
Yeah, Goku's a very selfish character because literally all he cares about is fighting. And I guess he doesn't really need a change because it works for him every time. You know, when he's not fighting, he's training to fight, and then when he's fighting, it's what he trained for. But the actual fighting experience that he gets to learn new things because he's just great at copying people, learning from others, and yeah, that's pretty much where Goku comes from. But with Vegeta,
Ooh.
one of his big things is pride, and for many years of his life, it seemed his pride controlled him. But it wasn't until like more of Dragon Ball Super where he controls his pride. Like he still has it,
Yeah.
but like he's the master of his pride. So
Well, I do like what we said about both of them. You know, like he like first he started taking down Vegeta. You know, like when there's a rest, take it. When
yeah,
there's an opportunity to enjoy life, do it. You know, basically, you know, he's too uptight.
yeah,
And then Goku started laughing. You know, he's right.
yeah,
And then Whis whips his ass. You know, so you, on the other hand, are reckless. You underestimate your opponent. You know,
yeah.
and that's why I think together when they fuse, they make like the best fighter. I'm not talking about the fusion version. I'm talking about the Urine version.
Okay,
Not Gogeta, but Vegito.
yeah,
Because there's a difference between the two.
yes, there is. Did you want to explain the difference?
Yes. Vegito is, I don't want to say like he's more Vegeta because of their blend,
Yeah,
but he has more of Vegeta's tactics. You know
yeah,
what I mean? And of course, he had that playful nature of Goku. You know, he laughed, he joked around a bit,
yeah,
but at the end, they were about taking care of business.
yeah,
You know, but the Gogeta version, I'm saying that right, Gogeta, especially in GT, was very playful. Like it seemed like he took more of Kakarot's kind of,
yeah.
and
So
then like Vegeta's arrogance too. Like he took the worst parts of him, sort of.
yeah, that is very accurate. The Patara earrings, when it fuses the two individuals, whoever has the most domineering personalities, that's the one that the trait becomes more. So once again, Vegeta is more like Vegeta because of that. While the fusion dance, and I forget what the alien species
The
name
Metamaries,
is. That what they were?
yeah,
Okay. Yeah. With that fusion, it's more of a perfect middle fusion, and that's what creates that middle ground. Like I said, more playful, but still had plenty of Vegeta. And there's actually interesting things about the fusion dance. First off, if there's somebody significantly weaker, it would actually be detrimental because
Yep.
it would then go in meet in the middle of power.
yeah, like during the Kid Buu thing where he was thinking about who he could fuse with,
Mhm.
and what there was Hercule, Vegeta, and who else?
I think it was just Hercule and Vegeta.
Yeah, and like he combined with like they showed a what if he combined with Hercule, and it was
Yeah.
just freaking horrible. It was funny,
Yeah.
like it looked really funny, but it was like wow,
Yeah.
that's bad.
So, and here's another interesting thing about the fusion dance is supposedly, and this was probably done in one of the magazines that interviewed Kira Toriyama, so he probably just said it, just all willy nilly.
Yeah.
But that 5 people can do the dance,
Well,
which would be interesting. It's just like 5 people make like a little 5-point star and like, oh, fusion, and they just like the Ginyu Force, like they have
Whoa.
so much training with just dancing, like they could legit become the Ginyu entity
oh god,
for like 30 minutes.
I would not want to see that.
I mean, you got body swapping, speed. Jace's ability was actually he was sadly somehow the Yamcha of the group that he specializes in energy blasts. Then Raccoon, for his size, he's actually very agile. I guess when he was younger, he was a dancer, and so he orchestrated that in his movements and fighting. And then you have Golo, who could freeze time. So that would actually be a very powerful entity to deal with. And entity is really the only thing I could call what that
Yeah.
amalgamation would be.
Well, I don't know. Captain Ginyu, I've heard different versions about Captain Ginyu, theories and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And when he switched with Goku, since we're talking about Goku, he wasn't able to access the power. Let's say
He doesn't know any of Goku's techniques. He can't use the Kaioken,
Well, I'm gonna say spoilers right now. Well, we should have said spoilers earlier, but screw it. Goku Black,
Mhm.
the Kai forged with him, and he was not familiar with a lot of Goku's techniques, but he was able to get it right away.
Yeah.
Which I think is more like, I don't think Ginyu had the self-control to understand the power.
So Ginyu, when he found out he had that technique, he used it for selfish purposes. He used it to actually bang women, to become hot guys to bang women. That's why he, I think he just kind of came across he could do that technique. It's suggested, it's natural. But yeah, no, he used it for, he got when he was young, he used it for perverted reasons. And, eventually he just used it to get, strong. It's believed that what you would normally see him in that, purple humanoid with the two horns, that is not his original body. He took that from a more powerful individual.
That I believe.
Yeah. Because I believe in Dragon Ball Super, he was in a different body. Like, he eventually got out of the frog form and became in a different body.
The frog form.
Yeah.
But the thing, about Vegeta is, his progression was different, too. But he got a lot of power on his own.
Mm-hmm.
And at times he didn't have to be on his own. During the hyperbolic time chamber with Trunks,
Mm-hmm.
Like when Trunks was talking about, he felt that fire, he saw this essence, and it wasn't a time chamber, it was Vegeta.
Yeah.
Causing that, I think Vegeta, and this is something I don't really subscribe to what they call the S.
Oh, the S cells. That's why the Saiyans become
bullshit.
Super Saiyan because they're good.
I don't care. I think that's bullshit.
I mean, it doesn't make sense because if it was that way, you think the good Saiyans would become the dominant Saiyan race, because if they could go Super Saiyan because they were good, it's just like they would be more powerful.
I'm gonna call BS on that, dude.
Yeah, so I mean, you could argue that their naturally violent nature would conflict with that, but if it conflicts with that, why would they ever have S cells to begin with?
I like what Vegeta said. There's more than one way to go for the gold.
Yeah.
When he transformed. And I always thought yes, Vegeta's pride held him back, but it was also a plus.
Yeah.
Take when he was possessed by Boo.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite parts is you may take my mind and my body, but there's one thing a Saiyan always keeps, his pride!
Yeah.
And he just objects, he just casts out, he keeps the power, but he casts out the influence
that
Babidi had, which I thought was cool.
Yeah.
So his pride is useful in some ways.
Yeah. I mean, his pride caused him to get in that situation to begin with, but it was his pride that got him out. And, I'm amazed, Piccolo and Vegeta aren't friends. I feel like, that they're the most level-headed and that, why do they not train together?
I can't remember which movie it was. There was a Dragon Ball Z movie, and, the ending totally threw me for a loop. After all the fighting and everything, I can't remember.
I believe you're talking about Android 13, where they're on, a block of ice in the middle of the water.
And, is it over? It's wait for the fish to jump.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, they did sort of get along, in Dragon Ball. They always talked to each other. They were, it was funny, Piccolo was the first one to find out that Trunks was his son.
Yeah.
Which gave one of my favorite scenes, that Piccolo was sitting there shitting himself because he's realizing what's going on.
Yeah.
And Vegeta's going, he just pointed at him. And Kakarot's on the floor. What's going on? What?
Yeah.
And Piccolo's just sitting there looking at him and looking at Bulma and just kind of having a private laugh onto himself.
Yeah. I mean, Piccolo could just spit out an egg.
Which I always thought was cool.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to look too into it, but then, is there a gene flow issue where, it's they're not combining genes, They must have all came from one Namekian, right? It's just like,
Maybe.
yeah.
But the thing is about Piccolo and Vegeta, I think they do get along.
Mhm.
I think there's scenes with that where they do get along.
Yeah, they have a mutual
but
respect.
their lives are really separate.
Yeah.
Like, take Piccolo, for example. He's all involved with Gohan, Videl. That side of the family,
Yeah.
where Vegeta tends to focus on Capsule Corp, and Trunks and,
They all have their own families, except for Goku for some odd reason. He doesn't really have a family because he deserts them to train.
Yes, that's the interesting thing that we're talking about contrast.
Mm-hmm.
Piccolo has accepted the fact that he's basically the godfather of Japan.
Yeah, and a matter of fact, I believe Dragon Ball Fighters, pokes fun at that there's one scene where Goku and Piccolo are talking, and they're talking about the family, and Goku's like, "Oh, really? I didn't know that about my family." He's like, "You do realize you're her grandfather, right? Not me." And
the thing is, in the mangas, where like one episode where they taught them how to drive,
mm-hmm.
I always thought if we're doing this like family things, like Chi-Chi kind of accepted Piccolo more than like a lot of the other ones.
Yeah, even though kidnapped her son.
Yeah, and kept him safe and took it. Yeah, but anyways.
Yeah.
But over the years, I think she accepted him more than like Krillin or like a lot of the other ones.
Yeah.
He was very practical and down to earth. So I kind of felt like Piccolo was like the big brother that Chi-Chi never had, and he was sort of wrapped up into the family. Yeah. I'm not saying like they have a Luke and Leia connection, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you kind of see that Piccolo's real strict and da.
Yeah.
You could see him totally as a relative of Chi-Chi because Chi-Chi's real blunt and I could totally see that going on.
And obviously Piccolo had a huge impact on Gohan because with the Cell Saga with Piccolo's clothes beam, which is just amazing. It's just like, oh, can you have me have like your outfit because I want to represent you when fighting Cell, which I thought was interesting. The Buu Saga, Gohan wanted to represent Goku, when he was in the Mystic form, which I thought would have been cool. It's like, all right, let's do this again. Give me the black outfit. Black outfit Mystic Gohan would have been cool.
Yeah, well, I guess they were doing that because he was already out of the game. It's the end of the world. You know what I mean? He always wanted to be Goku.
Yeah.
And I think that's another thing too. Like, and this is a problem I see in wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Where you got one guy like Brock Lesnar, okay, and he's a part timer. He doesn't really come on TV, but he's the champ, and like everyone has to fall to him.
Yeah.
And like not until recently, he lost the belt, but
spoilers.
Hopefully, well, no, he lost it months ago. But anyways, hopefully he keeps it, doesn't get, or Seth or someone keeps it and he doesn't get it back. But Goku kind of reminds me of that. He's real aloof, you know what I mean? He doesn't spend time with his family. He doesn't spend, And I always thought that he had that, he's like a part-time fighter.
Yeah.
But
I mean, he is authentically a good guy when, Chi-Chi busts his ball. It's like, hey, we're out of money. I know my dad's the Ox King, but we're out of money. You need to work. You need a farm. You need to, sell that to make us money because you eat a lot. And he's like, oh, but I don't want you. It's like, I don't care if you want to or not. You're going to do it. And he's like, okay. And then he goes do it.
Well, yeah, he did that in Super, the alternate Goku.
Yeah.
Goku Black, because he was working in the field when the Kai took him over.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, Goku tried it in the other reality. It didn't work out too well. As I recall, he ended up dumping the machine by accident or...
Yeah, it happens.
And he's so super strong. This is why you've heard my rants on Superman. Mm-hmm. I'm pro Luthor. But even Superman realized that he could just take his hand, dig a ditch, dig another one, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Put the plants in, put the plants in, put the plants in, fly, put the plant. Goku is putting too much effort into something that should have been effortlessly easy for him,
Mm-hmm.
Which I never really got about the kid, cause I think that personally he just didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
And that he was just, I think Goku acts like an idiot on purpose sometimes. Yeah. It's like Vegeta, I love Vegeta, but I think Vegeta acts like a dick sometimes just to get his own way.
Yeah.
And I think Goku does the same thing. And if Vegeta has called him on it a few times,
Yeah.
why are you acting like an idiot? Or why are you acting like a silly ass? Or why, not, he
Yeah.
doesn't say it like that, but, and Vegeta, I think, is always wise to how Goku operates,
Yeah.
you know. And I've always loved that about Vegeta.
Yeah.
And I like how Vegeta, even though, let's just get this out of the way, because everyone criticized, it pisses me off how much people criticize Vegeta for being a shit father. Oh, he
I
didn't
mean,
love his baby. He didn't claim his baby. He got wrapped up in the power when he was in gold. He almost killed them both, because he was fighting the android. Like everyone sits there and they shit on Vegeta.
yeah.
Oh, like he hit Trunks. Well, he hit Trunks as a reflex, because he landed a punch on him. But then he took him to the park, like which was a good episode of Super.
Yeah.
My point is, sorry, I'm kind of going on a tangent here.
No.
But my point is that Vegeta seems to always at least keep his word, or even though he's sort of a dick, he at least tried, or evolved into a family man.
Yeah. And well, I mean, if you look at, once again, both Piccolo and Vegeta, they didn't have anywhere near of a normal life. Well, none of them did.
Yes.
But they were kind of screwed in the beginning. They were, thrown into this very hateful and, destructive life.
Yes.
And they kind of had to learn to not be dicks. Like Vegeta, it didn't begin to dawn on him until Cell killed Trunks.
Yes.
And, it's just like, you killed, my son. Like, he'd never really thought of either Trunks, the current Trunks or future Trunks, as his kid, because it just didn't dawn on him until that moment. And, well, like I said earlier, people don't change overnight. Like, he was still a dick even up to, like, the Buu Saga, but it was after the Buu Saga where he's just like, there's more to all this than my pride. My pride's important, but like it's controlling me. And he blew himself up.
The thing is that Bulma's not exactly the most easy person to live with either.
Yeah, but I mean, it's why he loves her.
Yes, I know, but it's kind of like the cornerstone. Like you could tell why he didn't like claim him right away. Because she probably said, "Well, maybe he's not yours." And I could just totally see Bulma saying some shit like that. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Not that it was his, but
yeah,
I could see Bulma saying something like that, or saying something to get under his skin, or agitating him,
Yeah.
And it's weird because, like, later on, the father actually loves Vegeta. Bulma's father?
Yeah,
and the
Mr.
mother.
Briefs, yeah.
Yeah. They actually ended up liking him.
Yeah.
It's weird, like, Vegeta actually became a big part of the family, whether he admits it or not.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's there all the time. He might as well be.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Eats all their food.
Yeah, but he eats all their food, but I think, like, behind the scenes, like, if we had more episodes, I think, like, we would see him being a good father or a decent father.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or even if he's a dick, at least a father that was actually there.
Yeah, I mean, like Goku, he spends a lot of time training. Like, he tries to make time for the family. Well, no, I'm saying, like Goku, Vegeta's this way. He's often in the gravity chamber training. Like, he almost missed Bulma's birthday because of it.
Yes.
And he was planning onto it, but eventually, like, his guilt kind of got to him. It was like, oh, my wife's hassling me. Might as well do what I'm supposed to do. But, and then also, leaves to go train with Whis.
Well, I'll give you an example. Well, Bulma knew that was coming. She actually made friends with Whis, which I thought was cool.
Yeah.
But, one thing in the Lord Beerus thing, we saw a totally different side of Vegeta.
Mm-hmm.
Where he dropped his pride, he did like that show dance because he knew that it wasn't just him, he would kill his son, his wife, and I think he was thinking about that, and not just himself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If he was just thinking about himself, he would have just tried killing Beerus or shooting him. And I love that scene where he strikes Bulma.
Beerus strikes Bulma.
Beerus
Yeah.
strikes Bulma.
I believe it was a
Spoilers.
smack. I believe smacked her in the face.
Yeah, but still.
Because Bulma smacked him first.
Yeah, but that's like a feather hitting an anvil. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then Beerus was being a jerk, let's call it what it is.
Yeah.
But Bulma was being stupid.
Yeah.
Beerus didn't kill her, he just simply corrected her. They did become friends afterwards, so.
Yeah.
I mean,
Beerus doesn't like to admit that they're friends or that he even has any friends because he's the god of destruction. But like he likes to hang out a lot there, and it's not just because of the food. He says it's just the food. Yeah, it's just like he has a lot of respect for both Bulma and Vegeta.
Yes, because when that's what I was about to say when Vegeta lost it. My Bulma.
Yeah,
He wasn't in God mode.
yeah. I mean,
No.
he was maximum Super Saiyan 2, but like it was intense. Like,
I think he touched more than that.
I mean,
Well, let me.
Vegeta doesn't. I mean, it's theorized he could reach Super Saiyan 3. He
Well,
doesn't bother because
let-
it chugs too much energy.
Let me explain why. All right, you've seen the Goku Black series, right? Where Trunks hits that level of power.
Yeah.
But it's still Super Saiyan, but it's like Super Saiyan with.
Yeah, it's like Super Saiyan 2 Rage, whatever.
Yeah, but it's absurdly powerful.
Yeah.
It's like God powerful.
Yeah, it's pretty much what Gohan should do all the time.
Well, I think it was Vegeta that first did that. I think that was a taste of it.
Yeah.
I think he was the one that laid a taste for what we were saying about Gohan.
That's pretty much Gohan's stick
Okay.
for the longest time until he became an adult.
Back in the day, there was Dragon Ball Z magazines. I don't know if you remember that.
Mm-hmm.
I used to read them religiously.
Yeah.
They said the reason that Gohan was so dangerous is that he didn't have the father's temper. He had the mother's temper.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting that he does. And it makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
He's a calmer version of Chi-Chi.
Yeah.
That makes so much sense. But I think it's sad that they never passed the baton on.
Yeah.
Because I was all set. Like, after I saw the Cell games, I was like, all right, cool. I hated the Great Saiyaman Saga.
What?
I thought it was a waste of time. I thought we could have focused on something else. Like the characters we've been talking about, Piccolo, Gohan, or Vegeta, we could have been talking,
Mm-hmm.
But introduced Fidel, I understand the necessity of it.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought that it was poorly written. It could have been written a lot better.
Yeah.
You could tell they were just kind of filling it in.
Yeah.
So I never liked that. I always thought that certain characters had more potential. And I think, like, it's a failing on the writer's part that they didn't push Piccolo to push Gohan.
Yeah.
Since
Well, remember, Piccolo mellowed out at that point.
but still,
Yeah.
But I understand.
Piccolo
Gohan
kept
was-
on training.
Well, yeah, of course he kept on training.
But then again, he lives anywhere outside, floating, meditating.
Well, I thought he lived with Dende. Up in the,
Yeah. Yeah, he does that a lot.
yeah. Well, he kind of has his old room, you know what I mean, since he was Kami.
Yeah. And, but, yeah, it feels that a lot of Gohan had, like, wasted potential. I know a lot of people were disappointed in Gohan until he trained with Piccolo to become Mystic again, because, I mean, the major time gap between the Cell Saga and Buu Saga, Gohan only became a little bit weaker. But I think it might have only been a year gap between Buu Saga and then the Battle of God Saga. Like, he could barely go Super Saiyan. Like,
No, it was a. Oh,
it was not.
I know
big
between
gap.
the Cell Saga and the Buu Saga,
Was it 4 years?
Trunks was barely a baby in the Cell Saga.
Okay, yeah. So
then-
it could have been 7 years.
Because what was Trunks, like 7, 8 when it started back up
Yeah.
with Buu?
But 4 years would have made sense because Gohan was just entering high school.
Well, that's the thing because like they skipped a lot, dude. Because Trunks was already like 6 or 7 because they were starting the tournament,
Yeah.
so it had to be like at least 8 years, maybe.
Yeah. It doesn't help it's Akira Toriyama, and he has a bad habit of, first off, he doesn't write stuff down. Like, he doesn't pay attention to what he's doing. He
Yep.
forgets about characters, and he blames it. It's like, oh, it's, have to do so much work in so much time, which absolutely true, but other manga artists do it, and they don't forget.
He reminds me of Michael Bendis. Bendis is a great writer.
Mhm.
Bendis has done a lot of stuff for the industry, but he leaves these fucking plot holes. Yes, I get to use the F word. Everyone else does.
What?
He uses these huge fucking plot holes sometimes. It's just, you're sitting there like, and then like he does like some kind of cosmic thing or, you know what I mean? Like just to wrap it all up.
Yeah.
It's very anticlimactic, and I actually feel that way about Goku sometimes.
Yeah, because Goku just seems to always forget he could teleport anywhere he wants. I
Well,
mean, he could teleport whole solar systems.
well, that and like my main problem with GT, because I thought it was a good series. There's things I liked about it, things I hated.
Well, yeah, it's
But
not as gloom and doom as everyone states it is. They had plenty of good things.
but they really OP'd Goku.
Oh yeah,
There's one thing where, well, I was telling you, where Hell opened up and he was able to take Freezer and Cell, even though they've been practicing that whole time.
yeah,
Just like nothing. And I really like that they corrected that with Golden Freezer.
yeah.
Where they did the Freezer, what was it called? Freezer Saga, or not Freezer Saga, but
Yeah, it's
the
golden,
Freezer movie.
golden Freezer.
Yeah, Golden Freezer. I thought that made more sense.
Yeah,
That, like I said, there was things I liked about GT and there's things I didn't like.
yeah,
And the thing I really despise about Dragon Ball is the fact that I see potential in a lot of the women characters.
oh yeah.
Like, it would have been cool if Fidel had a stronger power level,
Yeah,
for
I mean,
example.
it does not make any sense at all that she stopped training. I mean, fighting was her life. She loved fighting.
Like, since you've been bringing up Piccolo, I could have totally seen a scenario where he trained her.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I could see like her being trained behind Gohan's back.
Yes, because she wants it more than Gohan. And
Yeah,
I think Piccolo, in order to preserve the family that he has, would want to teach one of them how to, fight or
yeah,
continue it on. And I thought Fidel would have been a perfect candidate for that.
yeah. And with Chi Chi, for her it makes sense. She wanted to be a housewife. She wanted that lifestyle.
But she did train Goten, though.
Yes. And the main reason why she just kind of petered off is because Akira Toriyama said he just didn't know how to write for her. He didn't know how to write romance. He doesn't really know how to write women.
Well,
So
like, he really bombed on that one, dude. He's married. Like, he
Yeah.
couldn't even, like Goku comes, gets some booty, and leaves. That's
Yeah.
basically it. And then she's stuck taking care of everything. Right? Like, how can she do martial arts, dude, when she's taking care of the kids, taking care of the bills, trying to get a job, trying to.
So legit, what would have been perfect? I don't understand why this wouldn't happen. Is when Piccolo steals Gohan, I could imagine that Chi not only would train for 6 months straight, but wouldn't even sleep. She's just ran by pure anger. She's like in Hulk mode for 6 months, and I could just see her just rolling in, murdering Nappa, and just like, my son, I want to kill Piccolo, but you killed him. Like, why
That would've
did
been
she not
interesting,
train for that 6 months?
That would have been interesting.
Like, she wasn't a housewife anymore because first off, her husband was dead, and she's not a house mom.
Well, then I
because
guess
her
she was
son
caught up in grief. That's when the cartoons,
Like, she should have just been so embroiled with anger. Like, I mean, like I said, I would just love if she just rolled in, murdered Nappa, and Vegeta's like, what is happening? Why?
Well, they kind of did to her what they did to Lois Lane.
Mhm.
Because Lois Lane in the 30s and the 40s, she was out there, dude. She was a pet bull. She got what she got.
Yeah.
Fought for it, put her life on the line for stories. And then in the 50s, they kind of ironed her out, where she was more of a housewife.
Yeah.
During the Ike years, and they kind of
I mean, I like
destroyed
Ike.
the foundation. Well, yeah, but it really destroyed the comic book foundation, like the whole,
Yeah.
And it took this very strong character and just kind of made her into a Superman's girlfriend. That was pretty much it.
Yeah, well, I mean, with Superman, Batman, they were kind of pseudo father figures for children. So then, of course, would have to have the mother figure, and so they did it that way because that was safest.
I suppose so.
Yeah, and I mean, as far as Android 18, I mean, she never really asked for that life. Her and her brother were delinquents, so Dr. Giro just stole them. Nobody would care. If anything, people probably would have been happy.
Well, yeah. Well, the thing was, we had to wait a long time to get that backstory.
Yeah.
A long time.
Yeah. But yeah, so her, just pretty much wanting to be with her daughter and her husband. And, they were having marital problems. The weaker that Krillin got, even though he got a job as a police officer, it's just like they were having, trouble in paradise. And it wasn't until, he started training again and they started training together that, that rekindle, and even when they're having trouble,
I
she
think
tried.
I think Krillin got complacent, and that's what it was.
Yeah, and well, it's normalcy. It's what happens.
Yeah, he's the opposite of Goku in a lot of ways.
Mm.
But back to the characters, we see this contrast. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
One doesn't have kids; he's a decent grandfather.
Yeah.
One has kids, you know, and he's a reluctant father, but he becomes one eventually.
Yeah.
Because Vegeta does become a good father, you know, eventually.
Yeah.
And
a
Goku
good
is
husband.
just like he reminds me of the dad from Talladega Nights,
Okay.
like Ricky Bobby's dad, where he shows up. Oh well, if you ain't first, you last.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you, I just got back from a race,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna go back in another one.
Where they got kicked out of an IHOP, a Chili's? Was it
Yeah,
Chili's? They got kicked out of
Yeah,
Chili's.
one of them. But you know what I mean? Like, he always reminded me of that kind of father, you know. I'm cool. But,
Yeah.
You know, but that's all Goku was, you know.
Yeah.
Like, even, like we said, Piccolo taught Gohan how to fight. Goten learned from his mother. And they just picked up a few things here and there from Goku.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. People always give Goku props, and they always hate on Vegeta for being a crap father, but
Yeah. I mean,
in the end, who was there?
yeah. And so, as a side note that I'm going to bring back to it, My Hero Academia, I kind of feel is kind of a newer version of Dragon Ball Z, just with superhero superpowers. But, like, for these young characters with these superpowers, as they grow and become more powerful characters, as in human beings, they, in tangent, become more powerful superheroes. And that they start understanding themselves and, you know, start acting more mature or think about stuff. And I feel that that also kind of happens with Vegeta. The more he understands himself and, you know, that he lets go of his past and try to evolve as a, not human being, but as a Saiyan,
Yeah.
you know, that he himself becomes more powerful. Like, he had that huge power boost, you know, when he got mad at Beerus, you know, for striking Bulma. And, you know, it kind of happens with Gohan and Trunks. I mean, Gohan also teeters off with that. And it seems to be something that, once again, Goku doesn't experience. He doesn't get better as a character. And so his power boost is just him being the main character. The other characters actually have to find ways to become more powerful.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, Goku is powerful. Goku learned, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, like, I always felt like he was the cheat, you know what I mean? The wrap up, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what people had a problem with Superman for so long until they redid him and they cut his powers down, you know?
Yeah.
And they gave him a little more common sense, you know?
Yeah.
And I understand the need for Goku. You know what I mean? He's the guy that wraps the story up.
Yeah.
But as far as character development, like you said, there's really no growth.
Yeah.
And I felt like there was a ton more growth since we've talked about other characters so far, but we've mainly been talking about Goku, Vegeta, and Piccolo.
Yeah.
You know, and I felt like there was a monster amount of growth, you know. And I never felt like Goku never had to do that.
Yeah.
And I feel in some ways he's sort of the villain that kind of helps out. Like, okay, great example. I think, and Beerus sort of saw this, because he told him you'd make a great god of destruction. And Goku said, oh, well, no, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But wouldn't Goku?
Personally, I think Vegeta would make a better god of destruction than Beerus.
Well, let's say a threat like Majin Buu came, and Goku was the top guy, right? Mm-hmm. And they started fighting, and they started destroying planet after planet. Goku wouldn't care.
Yeah.
You know? Like, Goku, like, not in the moment, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, even like, okay, people say a lot of shit about this, alright? But when the Dark Prince returns, look up the episode. When Vegeta's a bad guy, when he has the ammo on his head, mm-hmm. and he shoots the stadium, or he fires the first beam, Goku is in normal mode the whole time. He could have went Super Saiyan at any time and stopped that blast.
Yeah.
And it blew up part of the stadium. And then he let him blow up another part of the stadium before he transformed.
Yeah.
You know, Goku could have stopped that at any time.
Yeah.
But he didn't. You know, people are like, oh, well, Vegeta's the best. Vegeta's smart. I think Vegeta knew that Goku would let that happen.
Yeah.
You know? So, I'm not trying to excuse Vegeta's behavior. Those deaths were on Vegeta, but they're sort of on Goku, too.
Yeah.
You know? In my opinion.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree.
Because Superman, like, let's say it was Superman. Superman would have did whatever he could to lift the laser beam up or to, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
do something.
Snap his neck.
I beam, yeah, was but
wipe his memory.
Because if like, no, they actually Superman didn't do that. Neither did Batman.
Didn't that happen in one of the
Superman Identity Crisis? But it was
in one of the Superman movies?
The goddamn kiss! You're talking about.
I'm just taking bad shots.
Yeah, you're talking about that stupid kiss. They switched directors and screwed over Donner on that one.
Yeah, so just
what happened on that.
Fly up to Vegeta and give him a kiss. That's what Vegeta did. He needed a kiss.
Well, considering that Goku doesn't know what a kiss is,
yeah.
You know.
Maybe that's what it's. Goku has the magic kiss. That's what he has.
Sure.
Yeah. But
and I got the magic stick that's going to call She-Hulk and Miss Marvel to me right now. They're not walking through the chamber door.
Don't you mean Captain Marvel? See, that's what happened. You must know.
Nah, Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel, Binary.
Warbird.
Yeah, Warbird, whatever her name is.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I wouldn't like her. Let's just say the Invisible Girl. Invisible Woman. She-Hulk. Not working.
Yeah, well, and I guess since we more mentioning through the female characters just as part of this, why not mention Bulma? You know, she's not a fighter, but she has tenacity, and like her brains, like it always comes in. Like the only reason that Gohan and Krillin were able to get to Planet Namek early is because of her.
Well, yeah, she's the inventor. She's the brain.
She's the engineer.
She could be a bitch, you know, like Chi-Chi. She has but she has other uses. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think Bulma had more of a caring soul. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like she loves Vegeta, but she realizes that she needs to be a bitch to him.
Yeah.
You know, because that's what he responds to.
Yeah.
You know.
And he loves her for it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You know, we're not in front of that. You know, it's been proven.
Yeah.
Toriyama said that Saiyans are attracted to strong women.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no one as strong as Bulma.
Yeah.
And I love how, like, and I keep going back to GT, but it's just little things in GT I liked.
Yeah.
You know, like, or even in Dragon Ball, they touched on it too. Where she's like, well, if you're a prince and I'm married to you, that makes me a princess.
Yeah.
You know? And I think she always took that to heart.
Yeah.
You know? She loved that. And I think, like, she loves Vegeta.
Mm-hmm.
Because deep down she knows that Vegeta, despite his arrogance, despite his pride, loves her.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think, like, if Vegeta was, like, in a strip club without, like, I don't think he would cheat on his wife.
Oh, no.
You know what I mean? I really think, like, for all the shit that people say about Vegeta, I don't think that he would cheat on his wife.
You know, I don't think people shit on Vegeta as much as you're saying.
Well, I've heard from my friends and other people, you know, like, Vegeta's a shit father. Vegeta, you know, like, they
he
list off,
was.
Yeah, but they list off all these things, and even now, they say, you know, like, oh, well, he took drugs to the park, but he left. Or he got pissed off and left. I was like, well, what more did, you know, and I always argue this with Goku fans. I was like, well, what did Goku ever do?
Yeah.
You know? Because everyone seems to, and this is my problem that I have with some people, that sometimes when you're friendly and you're nice and you have charisma and you have a nice personality, and I've noticed this, like, when people work in fast food or other situations, you know, these nice people, they don't have to do much. They don't have to put as much effort in, you know what I mean? Because everyone likes them.
Yeah.
And they're able, and people excuse certain behaviors from them. Look at Bill Cosby. I hate to throw that out, but they forgave that fucking prick for years for shit that he did. And he was shit, man. Like, let's call it what it is, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know, people cover that up for years and years. You know, I feel like that, not Goku's that bad, but,
yeah,
you know, like, they cover it up because, oh, well, he's the one that saves the world.
Yeah.
No, period. And they shit on Vegeta or Piccolo.
Yeah.
Because even Piccolo, still has that bad guy kind of aura around him.
Yeah.
The other ones, Krillin sometimes gets out a joke, but it just seems like everyone excuses Goku's behavior.
Yeah.
And personally, I think that these two guys that were villains are actually better fathers and grandfathers. I don't know if you do, but I consider Piccolo the grandfather.
Yeah,
Pan.
absolutely. Even for like Pan,
Yeah.
there would be that connection.
Because I kind of feel like Piccolo was a stepdaddy.
Yeah.
I'd say it like that, but
So,
he wasn't sleeping with Chi-Chi, but he was stepdaddy.
Yeah. And,
So,
but yeah, you're mentioning Goku once again kind of being a villain. So
well, not a villain, but
yeah.
just like
well, what is more accurate is antagonist. So antagonist effectively means character that brings change, and that's what Goku does. Like a lot of the stuff are pretty much just bull. The universe survival arc is the one that immediately comes to mind because he almost eradicated all the universes.
Yeah, I remember reading
because
about that.
he wanted to fight.
Yeah.
And once again, it boils down to that he just wants to fight. Everyone was like keeping their mouths shut because that was kind of like talking like, oh, all this fighting, and but everyone's like, nobody wants their universe to die, and Goku's like, hey, excuse me, aren't we gonna beat the living Christ out of each other? Yeah, nobody's mentioned that. That's weird. I mean, don't you guys want to fight too?
Yeah, and he's damning other universes. That's what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
People tend to excuse that behavior.
Yeah.
Did they find a way to save certain universes though, or something?
Oh no! What happened is, spoilers. Android 17 ended up being the last one standing, because Frieza and Goku sort of effectively tackled Jiren, who's the last opponent. They together out, and 17 was the last one standing, and say, all right, what do you wish? It's like, I wish for none of the universes to be erased. I mean, what else I'm going to wish for? And Genos is like, actually, I think it was the High Priest was saying like, oh, it's a good thing you wish that, because if you didn't, you were going to get deleted.
Yeah, it was totally a redo.
Yeah, and so it's like, yeah, no, I went back. That was kind of the intention to see if everyone was
his
worried.
arc was actually mentioned more in GT, which they took away.
Yeah, and
which was sad. That was another thing they spotlighted. Him.
Mm-hmm.
Which was really nice.
Yeah.
But like I said, this is my problems that I have. With the three core characters, you could say the three most popular ones.
Yeah,
we could
probably
Krillin,
the three most consistently powerful. Also.
Yes. Like people say that Piccolo's not in this, but I'm going to give it for his intelligence, his tactics, his telekinesis. Like, he's a step ahead of people, even Vegeta.
Yeah.
He's able to put pride aside.
I mean, Piccolo got a double kill. I mean, unlike Vegeta, Piccolo has actually killed Goku and killed Raditz.
That was a gimme. But yeah.
I mean, it happened. But
that was still a gimme.
And, I mean, during the Saiyan arc when...
Well, Vegeta beat the crap out of Goku when he was getting...
Yeah, Vegeta and Piccolo never fought.
No, they didn't.
Like, they never even trained. Like, they never have once thrown a punch at each other. Like, it seems like something that should happen.
I think it's mutual respect.
Yeah.
Piccolo watches his family, Vegeta watches his.
Yeah.
I think it's real clannish the way they think.
Yeah.
And let's be straight. Piccolo killed a lot, Vegeta killed a lot of Namex. Now still in Piccolo, it's hard to forgive.
Yeah. I mean, they all were wished back.
And then at the same, but still. And at the same.
Oh wait! Were they?
No, they weren't.
They weren't, because they wished for everyone that Frieza and his men killed. For them to be wished back. Vegeta was no longer one of Frieza's men, and didn't get wished back.
Yep.
Yeah, because they're like, oh, where's this village and this village? It's like, oh, I killed them. It's just like, you're a dick. You're a monster.
Well, then, I hate to say it like that, but what did King Piccolo do?
Yeah.
You see, and I think that's like the rub with Piccolo. He wants to hate Vegeta, but he can't because he was very similar.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Vegeta's the same way, and I think they sort of understand each other. And I think they've had talks before. I would love if they did an episode where it was just them, or even a movie. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna pitch this right now, and if they steal this, they're gonna owe me and Magnus money. Okay, where it's just an episode, where it's Piccolo and Vegeta fighting the villain, and then we have Goku and Krillin and the rest of the guys You know, maybe fighting the main monster, but they're fighting the guy that pulls the strings.
Mhm.
You know, like a better version of Bibbidi. You know, a better version of Boo. You know, but they're fighting the main guy, the guy that actually controls them. You know,
Yeah.
and that would be cool if like they did a split off like that. You know, where like Piccolo and Vegeta had some time together.
Yeah.
I think that would be really cool
Yeah.
because both of them have that I will kill the bad guy before he levels up type of deal.
Yeah.
And I always thought that'd be cool, you know. Oh, well, I have one more form. I'm gonna turn in,
Yeah.
you know, before another series starts. You know, Vegeta. I think it'd be cool, like, to show that Vegeta's kind of grown up
Yeah.
and Piccolo's kind of grown up, and they just execute the fucker, boom, right
Yeah.
there, just like that.
I would love a movie where it's effectively a space road trip with Vegeta and Piccolo. So imagine something like this: Tarble, Vegeta's brother. It's like, oh, there's something crazy happening over here. Need your help. And Vegeta's like, Bulma, get the spaceship ready. It's like, I mean, I'm upgrading it. It's under repairs, whatever. It's like it's not gonna be ready for like a month or two. It's like, I need to do this now. It's like, well, there's still the Namekian ship, and it's like I could go with you. It's like, no, you keep on working on the ship. I don't want you going with me to stage one. It's like, well, then who's going to operate it? And it's like,
I think
Piccolo. Although all could be fixed with, hey, Goku, teleport us over there. But
I think Bulma would go.
yeah,
With them.
yeah, but would Vegeta want that? Also, would Vegeta have to say? I mean, I don't think Piccolo would care either way. Well, then again,
Well,
they
she'd be useful because she runs and repairs the ship.
yeah.
Like, that's one thing about Saiyans. They know how to fly the machine, but they don't know how to fix it.
Yeah.
And Piccolo's not the best mechanic in the world.
Yeah. And well, now I'm thinking about it, Bulma went with, I can't remember the alien space cop guy, but went with him.
Oh, that skinny little fool, yeah.
Yeah, went off with him in outer space. And well, even Piccolo's like, hey, you don't get any funny ideas with my wife. It's like, what, her with that old hag? And then Bulma gets mad, which, by the way, I mean, I know she uses, like, special moisturizers and stuff like that, but it's just like, she looks anything but like an old hag. Like Chi-Chi, like, her age is starting to show. But, not Bulma. Yeah.
Oh, hell no. Because Bulma's actually happy in her marriage.
Yeah, I mean, she's looking more and more delicious every day,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, some people age like wine. Others age like milk.
Yeah. And I do want to mention a quick little thing once again with power levels in the same saga. When Vegeta first checked in with power levels, Piccolo was at like about 1400. He was the most powerful out of all the group.
Yep.
I think Tien was like the second at 1300. And then Goku, his power level was, even though it says it's over 9,000.
Yeah, it was a mistake.
It's over 8,000. Well, I believe Vegeta's was about 18,000.
Yeah.
So, like, they all had a lot of catching up to do. And, I think by the time Vegeta fought, was it, Choi?
I don't know, dude.
Yeah, that when going to Namek, there's that first, like, Frieza henchman that, I think that guy's power level was, like, 20,000, and 22,000.
Well, yeah, dude, 22,000 is a lot of power, dude, but...
Yeah, I mean, that was, a 4,000 jump, and, but then everyone else was catching up. So, yeah.
Well, the problem was, dude, like, especially with Goku, is the power-ups, the massive power-ups.
Yeah.
Like, he slept, he gained his strength back after he was injured, and then the whole Ginyu thing where he was injured again. Like, I don't know, like, I've never seen someone boost as high as Goku,
Yeah. Well, I mean, a character he regrets the whole power level thing, because when you see from, like, the beginning of the Namek Saga to the end, it pretty much went to what? Once again, everyone being like 10,000, 20,000, up to like 1,000,000. And, this is just a span of like a week. Like a 900,000, power. I know, what? A 99,000? A 990,000 power boost in a week.
Well, they also talked about that Frieza actually gave Goku time to catch up, and To
Yeah,
reach
but that was
level.
more out of arrogance. It's not like Frieza's like, oh, I want a challenge. It's like, you're nothing. I have nothing better to do, you know?
Well, that's the sad thing because a lot of like these characters come from arrogance. Like Vegeta's arrogance with Cell, Piccolo's arrogance, King Piccolo's arrogance with Goku,
Yeah.
and it seems like arrogance plays the fatal flaw in a lot of these characters.
Yeah, I mean, with Cell, like, arrogance is his fatal flaw. And oddly enough, people blame that on Goku genes because he has Goku genes, and that's what was his downfall. So somehow Goku still defeated Cell in that sense.
The thing that pissed me off about that is like Goku still had to be there in spirit with Gohan.
Yeah.
Like they should have just taken it from that point and made it more about Gohan.
You know, I wish it was Piccolo. I could imagine like Gohan with like the one Kamehameha. And it's
Well,
like, I'm
yeah,
not strong
well,
enough.
even then, that would have been cool.
But like Piccolo just go up, put his left hand on this thing, and you'll go like this, and you'll does a beam shot,
That would've been
goes
cool.
through his Kamehameha, through Cell's Kamehameha, and then like hits Cell. It's just like that would be amazing.
Because I remember the first time I watched it, dude, I was actually sitting there going, all right. Like, I predicted what was going to happen, And this is back in the day before, like, real hardcore internet, real hard, where you can actually just watch it.
Yeah.
And, like, well, I guess the spirit of Goku is going to come back. And my friend's like, no, this is Gohan's time. I was like, haven't you been paying attention to the show?
Yeah.
Of course, Goku comes back. And, like, they're like, a lot of people online is like, this is a very loving moment. He's helping his son. I never...
You know what's crazy also is that Dragon Ball Z ended like I think 6 years prior than when people in America was watching. It just took that long for the Dragon Ball series to really catch on in the United States.
Yeah, because I remember like back in like 2099, like 2001, around
Yeah.
there. Like they played, like they would go to the Cell Saga, they would end it, and they would start it over.
Yeah.
It took years for the Boo Saga to come through.
Yeah.
So I remember waiting, dude, like 3-4 years, because they played the whole thing out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they just kept on starting back either like at the beginning of the arc or even the beginning of the series.
Yep.
Trying
And
to buy
it
time.
was just so horrible,
And it's not like it was Funimation's fault either. I mean, well, there were plenty of other anime distributors prior when Funimation had it. I think Ocean had it for a while, and for a long time, people knew it's just like, hey, Dragon Ball Z, it is the shit. People are gonna think it's cool, but 80s, 90s, you're like, oh, if you're into Japanese anime, you're weird.
The new millennium, the magazine was selling a lot, the toys were selling a lot.
Yeah.
So they didn't really want to, and they backed themselves into a corner because the Boo was supposed to be the last saga, and that's when they started writing GT.
Well, no, Cell was supposed to be the last saga. Supposedly that was being written, but it's just like, oh no, just keep on going. So they did the Boo.
Well, from what I hear, the Freezer saga was supposed to be the last one, and
yeah, I mean, it just kept on getting extended.
Yeah,
I mean, it made the money. Why would you stop?
And that's why a lot of the series and the character. That's why Goku never changed, since we're rounding about our point.
Mm-hmm.
There's more character development in the other ones.
Yeah, and there's been people. For a long time, people were saying, which ended up not being true, is that Gohan was originally the one that was going to, defeat Frieza and not Goku.
Mm-hmm.
And that supposedly that Goku was supposed to die and he was just supposed to be dead, and that was supposed to be the Gohan story.
Yeah.
And that supposedly the Japanese freaked out because they mentioned that this was going to happen, and it's like, no, you can't do that. We love Goku way too much. You can't do this. And supposedly, like, all of that like story is just like a lie. It's like, no, that's just American speculation because Goku's not our favorite.
Well, that and even that poll that we saw, a lot of people, if they had to choose, they love Goku because he always saves the day.
Mm-hmm.
But you'd rather be Vegeta.
Yeah.
Because you'd rather be married to the rich chick. You'd rather have a life, have a son that you know. I, like, as much as, and I think Gohan's lack of power stems from the fact that Goku was never there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe that's just reaching. But I always felt that's why Trunks ends up being stronger than both Goten, because later on they prove it in the future, because everyone else dies,
mm-hmm.
Except for him and
his
girlfriend that's actually 36 and then gets turned back into a little girl, and then
Yeah.
dates him, and then they end up together. Even
Yeah.
yeah. It's one of those weird situations.
Yeah.
But we've been talking here. We've been talking about the three different characters. You want to add
Mhm.
anything else, Magnus?
I do just want to throw in some funny little side thing. We were
All
talking about
right.
like, there's speculation. So, Gohan as the Great Saiyaman, one of your favorite characters. He likes to do a little dance, and supposedly, Gohan isn't quite the fighter naturally fighter like Goku and Vegeta. Like a lot of stuff, like is kind of traumatizing to him. A lot, that's why he goes in long bouts of not fighting. But that he picked that up from the Ginyu Force because that was something that was at least a little fun in a traumatizing moment, and that stuck with him, and so he does that
Yeah, and he
as the
steals
Great Saiyaman.
Goku's lines of what he was telling Freezer,
Yeah,
even though he wasn't there.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I got that too.
So yeah, and I think they insinuate that a little bit in Dragon Ball Z Fighters, Dragon Ball Z
Yeah.
or Dragon Ball Fighters. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just wanted to throw that out. Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball
And
Super. It's all
indeed
cool.
it is. So check it out. We've been talking about three different characters, their family lives, how they grew in the series. And of course, I'm the Comic Outlaw. This is Magnus.
Mhm.
And as always, we'll catch you on the flip side. We'll probably be doing more DBZ videos coming up. Maybe character profiles, maybe one on Piccolo. So hit us up. And as always, we'll catch you on the flip side.
Later.
Laters.